Sorry, guys, if you're at home, we're on slide 18. It stopped recording, so I have to redo it. All right, we just read 16 through 17. We looked at the pictures and the captions. Mike has always wanted to work at Stonehenge. What made him want to be an archaeologist was the accidental discovery of a burial site in his hometown. Accidental discovery of burial site. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Hold on. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. All right, next page, go ahead and turn. 18 and 19. Colin, this is where everyone in the other class was like, oh my gosh, she strikes a striking resemblance to Colin. So you're a time traveler.
Stop traveling in time. That could be bad.
So let's look at these pictures.
So were you back then when I was here? No.
Which is also not when this was. So we've got a picture of who we are assuming is Mike, but we don't know yet until we read the caption. Looks like it could be like family members, right? So what do you see in the background, forefront? What are you looking at?
Digging.
Okay, so another dig site.
Like there's something on the ground.
Yeah, something on the ground. It looks like it's a pattern, right? Yeah, it has squares. A floor of something. I like that idea. Now, do you see any like grid systems or anything like that?
It's a bunch of wires.
Wires, that's part of a grid system. So it looks like these three people are at a dig site. Look at the black and white picture right below. The other class just was fascinated with the vest and no shirt situation. I cannot explain that. Don't know why. I don't know.
One of them has like a tie thing.
Yeah, a little handkerchief tie. It was the style, I guess. Yes, Jackson. Good. I like that. We saw those in some of our previous pictures as markers. Good. I think we probably are on the right track in thinking that it's a site that's been dug. Let's look at the caption. These scrapbook photos show the life of a young archaeologist in training, visiting the ruins of a Roman villa. Where's Jackson? Of a Roman villa with his family as a young teen. So this is top. Mike is right. Ah, so this is Mike. Colin's doppelganger is not Mike. It's his younger brother. And that's his dad, or their dad. So Mike in the jacket. No, it's Mike's brother. All right, then we've got at age 24 in the black and white picture. Working on a dig 18 miles south of Stonehenge. Mike is in the hole. Here is Mike. So he was close to Stonehenge on one of his first digs, too. That's pretty cool. All right, let's read the actual paragraph as on your book on 18. When Mike reached high school, his teachers told him to be sensible. There are no jobs in archaeology, they warned. Mine told me the same thing, too. But Mike was determined to follow the career that he had dreamed of ever since he was 4 years old. Whenever he had free time, even during his vacations, he found ways to be of use on archaeological sites. Soon he was helping out on one dig after another in Britain. While studying for his degree in college, he expanded his range, working on sites all around the world. So let's think about what this is telling us. What did his fellow friends and colleagues and teachers tell him? To don't do that. Exactly. So that's just page 18. People told Mike not to become an archaeologist. Archaeologist. Told him not to do it. My parents told me that too, because it really is hard to make money. It is. Yes, they told me that.
And you can't help your family.
That it's hard. It's hard. It is. But he didn't listen, right? Didn't listen. Yeah. He didn't listen, and he did everything he could from a young age to be around archaeology. So he was always, let's say, Trying to become one. We'll say that. Always trying to become one. That was like his main goal in life. It's a good goal. I like it. So he didn't listen to the naysayers that told him not to do it. Naysayer means people saying not to do it. He just did it anyways. I thought that was cool though that his family actually went on vacation to an archaeological dig site. What we saw was the floor of a Roman villa, which means house, in that top colored picture.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's the floor of a house, so y'all were right. So I thought that was cool. His family did like encourage him to do it. That's good. Yeah, that's true. And that's really cool. How many of you already kind of have an idea of what you want to do? Which I'll just tell you, like, it could change 500 times. What do you think, Anna? What do you think? Like, what do you want to be? A vet. Okay. So how many times have you and your family taken vacations to zoos or places that you can practice to be a veterinarian? A lot. That's shocking. My parents have never taken me place. Like they would never just take me up to a school and be like, "We're gonna hang out here so that you can research being a teacher." I think that's cool. His parents are doing that because that's actually very rare. Yeah. A what? Very cool. Yes. Great. Love it. Love it.
I want to be a doctor.
Do it, girl. We need more. Yes. Cool. That was actually my second option as well. All right, let's go back to 18 and see what else he does to make his dreams come true. We're on 19. Connor, no one needs to hear that from you. Hush.
I can't say that because I wouldn't know what else.
Hush. So, shh. This is on video too, so shh. All right. The one place Mike was sure he would not study was Stonehenge. So remember, in the beginning, he said, I'm probably never going to do that, even though I want to, because it's already been done. Okay? So he went everywhere but Stonehenge. Eyes on your book, please. So Mike settled in teaching archaeology at Sheffield University. Like I said, a lot of times you have to be a professor in a college to do it. And digging far, very far from Salisbury Plain, which is where Stonehenge is. Kind of sounds like it. First, he worked on the island of the Outer Hebrides of the west coast of Scotland. That's a picture up top we're going to talk about. Then Mike and his wife Karen, so he's married, who is an anthropologist. Anthropologists study specifically the people of the region. So she does similar things to what he does. Spent years doing research on the island of Madagascar, total opposite ends of the world, which is just off the coast of Africa and the Indian Ocean. That's where Mike's Stonehenge story begins. So his story for Stonehenge begins in Africa. That makes no sense right now. That's crazy. We're going to look at a map in a second to show you how far apart they are. Let's look at these pictures. Mike's excavations of the Outer Hebrides, including a Bronze Age settlement. This is the top right, so this picture. And below, down here. That's cool. There's like a checkered pattern. Uh-huh. We're about to look at that one, Ania. And then these two, on the top left and center, is a Viking farm that he excavated. Vikings usually lived in coastal regions. That's why it's by the ocean. Yes. Good observation. They boated everywhere, so that's why they're by the ocean. So his story starts, back to our notes. This is page 19. If you just got here, you got to make it up. And it's not hard. You just have a few pages that you have to read on your own. It's not a big deal. All right, so Mike equals professor at Sheffield University and dug everywhere but Stonehenge. We're on slide 18. Bless you. Professor at Sheffield University and dug everywhere but Stonehenge.
go ahead and talk all the stuff that you already have.
We're not going to wait, but you can start. I would actually do 19 first, though, like what we're actually on. And it says that his story with Stonehenge started in Madagascar. So let's say, comma, Madagascar is where Mike began to think of, hold on. Let me reset it. Lord help us. Hold on.
What is happening?
Of working at Stonehenge. And I'll catch up with you. Began to think of working at Stonehenge. So something in Madagascar made him think of Stonehenge. And I'm about to show you a map of where and how far apart these two places are. And how different they are. Completely different in culture. Began to think of working at Stonehenge. There we go. Say it again. Is where Mike began to think of working at Stonehenge. Is where Mike began to think of working at Stonehenge. Worlds apart. So let's try something crazy. I know. We're going to try to screenshot in a second, okay? Y'all know how to do that. But, oh, that's fine. I'll do it on yours. But once you type, think of working at Stonehenge, I want you to open up another window. And I want you to type in world map. And we're going to image search this. World map. You've got a lot of choices. I don't mind which one you use. This one looks good to me. I'm going to screenshot where I can actually choose it. Y'all know that. RJ, you're good. I'll input yours.
You can put this picture thing and get to.
You can also drag it. You can drag it, but I'm not going to do that. On the right side, I'm going to delete that text box that says continued. You just click on it and backspace or delete. Click it, delete. Then I'm going to insert image. You'll know how to do that. Upload from computer.
Can't you just drag it on there?
Sometimes, yes. You could. Y'all know various different ways of doing it. For those of you that are at home, they said that you can just drag it to, and you can, just like that. You can also insert image, search the web, and get the same result. And you can also copy image and paste. You have various options. All right, now once we've pasted our picture, I'm going to zoom in extra close so that I can see the world map. All right, here's the crazy part. We're going to try to draw. We're going to go up here next to our stick-it note, our shapes, okay? And we're going to click the down arrow on line and go to scribble. Now, you could actually just do a circle, but if we did that, we have to make the background transparent, and it's an extra step, so we're not going to do that. Press scribble. Now, let's find Africa. It's right here. Right here. Now, to the bottom, right-hand corner of Africa, you see a large yellow island titled Madagascar. Yes? Let's scribble circle Madagascar. Do y'all know how to do that? Okay. I'm going to circle Madagascar. Now, it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. Maybe yours will be. I don't know. Mine's not.
I don't see Madagascar anymore.
It is on the bottom right-hand corner of Africa.
I had to say yours because mine's blurry. Is that all right there? That's yellow.
The yellow island, the large one. Okay. Now we're going to find the UK. It doesn't have Salisbury specifically labeled, but the UK in Wales, Britain area does. So let's travel upwards and a little to the left. And we're going to find another yellow island that's next to Ireland that's labeled U.K, UK. That's where Stonehenge is. You must press, you don't have to, wait, yes you do. You must go back to scribble and circle the UK. Yes. No, it is not. You press the button next to the right-hand side of shapes. Mine says scribble now all the time, so you just have to press that usually. If it says line, scroll down to scribble. You're in the right spot. All right, press your scribble button again, and we're going to draw a line from the UK to Madagascar, where the lemurs are. Whoops. Yes. So that is where Madagascar is where Mike first starts to think about excavating at Stonehenge all the way up in the UK. Madagascar, I'm going to Google search now. You don't have to. Is an island, and it has really cool wildlife. Madagascar. There are a lot of different animal species that are only indigenous to that area. The lemur being one of them. Here we go. I don't know. Now, these trees are in all areas of Africa, and they are my favorite trees, if you can have a favorite tree. They're really cool. They're super cool. They are. The trunks are like really fat. And then the tops are not very big. But this tropical paradise, because it's gorgeous there, very different from England. Very, very, very different from England. See how beautiful people vacation there? In fact, if you live there, all of my colleagues that I lived with when we lived in Sub-Saharan, I'll show you where I lived in proximity to that. We don't even need to talk about it because every single time I say it, you ask the same question like, yeah, but you've been here every other day that I have mentioned it. Look, right here. Right here, Zambia, this other little yellow country, it's really close to Madagascar. So, like, anytime missionaries or anybody wanted to go vacation, they would go to Madagascar. It is so pretty. Oh, my gosh. Now, in vast contrast, let me just show you. In vast contrast, these are like not doing England justice, meaning England's cool or whatever, but it is constantly like super cloudy.
Isn't the money different?
Yes, it is everywhere. But it's rainy and cloudy. It makes me sad staying there for a long period of time just because it's so dark. I can't stand cloudy and rainy weather. You can never, ever swim in these areas because it's A, freezing, and B, nasty. There's lots of animals, but it is much nicer. I'll say that.
I really don't want to go to Austin.
So how can, where he's asking himself, and I'm asking myself this as a reader now, how can these two different settings be so drastically different, but make Mike want to excavate there? I want some ideas. How can Madagascar possibly make Mike want to dig in Stonehenge? What could he have found there that might make him want to do that? Give me some ideas. What do you think? People, maybe from the past. Maybe they have something in common. Yes. Be loud. Okay. Now he's been excavating in Madagascar, meaning Mike's been digging stuff up in Madagascar. So think about it. Mick. I like that. I'm guessing what Mick is guessing too. I think they found similar structures when they were excavating in Madagascar that made him think of something that he had done research on in Stonehenge, okay? I think that's going to be where we're going to go in the next chapters. Something in Madagascar he dug up made him or reminded him of something in the UK in Salisbury Plains. Yes, ma'am. Ask it. The trees? Yeah, they kind of do, you're right. They kind of have an orangish tint to them, too. Yes. All right, if you're at home, make sure you watch the video before you attempt to do any of the activities, okay? Hold on.